in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Good night, everyone, and get ready because it's time for the late chip at the video store.
Hey everyone, we are back with Late Shift at the Video Store, and Kelly has disappeared on us for the next month, so I brought in Melissa. Melissa, how are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm not Kelly. I'm basically like the tethered version of Kelly, so a little bit spookier and like creepier than Kelly. So I'm here.
I like that. And speaking of spooky, since October's coming up, and we decided, you know what, let's just do some horror-related questions for Late Shift. So Kelly came up. Melissa came up with this one.
Amazing.
We got, who's your favorite horror movie villain? And to start that off, let's start off with Melissa. Melissa, who's your favorite horror movie villain?
I do think this question's a bit tough, so sorry to everyone out there who ends up jumping on. Because I think there's just so many to choose from. I feel like there's so many like classic favorites, but then there's a lot of like great horror villains that have come out just in the last 5 years or so. So I feel like I have to go with like more of a recency bias and go with Pearl.
Oh, that's a great choice.
I
Why
mean,
do you choose Pearl?
I mean, she's a star.
Yeah.
No, I love her character. I feel I tend to like the villains that are more layered and bit complex, but not always. There's different types of horror villains that I like, but I just, yeah, and Mia Goth. I mean, her performance as Pearl is amazing, and I just can't get enough of it. So I'll go with that as my answer.
I like that. That's a good answer. Now, anybody that's watching, if you want to jump on and give your answer, click that link that I got in the chat there. Come on aboard, and I guess I shall give my answer now. We've had different rankings and shit of horror movie villains and stuff like that. So I've said my favorite numerous times, which is Michael Myers. So I'm gonna bring up someone else. I'm gonna bring up Horace Pinker. Shocker. See, that dude's a major dickhead in the best way possible. He's insane. He's a serial killer who killed a bunch of families, including maybe his son's family, which they never really say if he's his actual son or not, if he's fucking with him. But he ends up being electrocuted in the electric chair, and he ends up coming back and being able to put his, I guess, his spirit, I guess you would say, into other people. I guess that's how they kind of do it. Yeah, his spirit into other people and controlling other people. And he's all about going through electricity and shit like that throughout it as well. And he can turn into objects like sofas and fucking other random shit. So he's insane, and he can attack you anywhere, which is fucking great. Let's see. Other than that, I'd say the Thing. It's probably a great choice as well. The Thing is just can turn into anything and can fuck you up wildly. Plus, it looks very strange as a dog. It's multiple dogs put together.
Yeah, when I was like thinking about this question, I was like, I bet Mike is going to say the Thing in Shocker. Like I literally thought you were going to say those too. So that's amazing. You confirmed my suspicions. I guess do you like prefer more of like the creature type of villains?
Yeah.
Typically, or do you like prefer more of the human form?
I usually go for more straight up monster villains the majority of the time. Like I still consider Michael Myers a monster villain, not really a human, because as Loomis says numerous times, he is pure evil. and that's why I don't really go for like the Rob Zombie little kid version of Michael Myers, because you don't need to explain who Michael Myers is. Michael Myers is just pure evil. He's not a kid who got bullied and shit that they show in that. It's just a guy who has been always evil, has been pure evil, and just fucking snapped and just went on a killing streak. Oh, we got our first person here.
Yay!
We got Bill.
No.
Yes, I thought I was going to have a little more time.
So, Bill,
Yeah,
question of the night: who's your
Yeah.
favorite horror movie villain?
he's on my shirt, to be clear. So, but it's Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
He's my all-time guy. So, it is the worst kept secret ever that Nightmare on Elm Street's like one of my favorite movies, especially like horror. And I think I just saw it at like the right age because I was a little kid. And
Oh, yeah.
the thing that always separated Freddy was like Jason. I mean, I could just not go to the woods. For the
Yeah.
most part.
And don't have sex.
Like, yeah,
I
like I could just not fucking touch the lament configuration. I'll be fine. I have to go to sleep at some point. Like, there's no
Yeah.
avoiding this guy, and I think that is just like very viscerally what like stuck out to me. And I've which is funny because I never remember dreams of any kind. But like the idea of like some guy that could live in your nightmares is like fucking horrifying. And the fact that like, especially, I think around like the third movie, it turned into like he's like this very psychological, like he feeds on like
Yes.
what you're afraid of, and he twists it and like warps it against you. And that is just some crackerjack writing. Did you get that guy a ham sandwich? So
And he also will talk shit to you while he's fucking.
like it's
with
not
you.
enough that like he's like fucking like cutting your stomach open. He's cracking fucking jokes and practicing his tight five. Like it is just absolute debasement coming from him. So yeah, and he had like personality. The other guys were just like, there's nothing going on there. So
yeah, he's definitely one of my favorites as well.
Yeah.
I was almost gonna say Freddy Krueger, but
I had to get in here. I was like, I gotta be first because like
Yeah.
some Jay, I was gonna say it, so it might as well be me.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a
But, yeah.
fantastic choice, Bill. Thank you for coming on.
Also,
We will
like,
see you.
reminded me that the movie Shocker exists. It's been so long since
Oh
I've
my
seen that
God.
shit. That movie
Yeah.
is fucking bonkers.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like that in House. Was it House 4? House 4 that was basically almost kind of the same movie with
Oh,
like
yeah.
Brian James is like,
Yes.
but it was like the horror show. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
But I don't know why it was had nothing to do with fucking House. Those movies are weird. They got nothing to do with each other. It's fucking bizarre. So nothing me. So
Well,
Have a good
thank you, Bill.
thanks,
Have a
Bill.
good one.
Good to see you.
Freddy Krueger, one of the ultimate choices there, and a perfect thing to bring up on this one. Melissa, do you have any others that you kind of like?
Yeah, no, I was going to bring up Freddy Krueger, but I was like, I'll go something a little different just in case, somebody else wants to say it, because he's just excellent. Kind of everything that Bill said. Like I love the comedy of it all, but the concept of like you go to sleep and he's gonna like get you is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
But other horror villains, I mean, I feel like another kind of like classic one for me would probably be Hannibal Lecter from Silence
Ooh,
of
yeah.
the Lambs. I mean, he's just so calculated and so smart, but twisted and terrifying, and the iconic ending that he gets away is just it. The first time I saw that movie, that like really freaked me out. Just thinking like he's just out there.
Yeah, no. Hannibal Lecter, like you said, is very calculating, and he was able to get away from so many fucking people while he was eating and killing people. And to do what he does to that cop when he escapes in the Silence of the Lambs just shows that he still does not give a shit that he's been caught and that he could be caught again. He will fuck people up royally.
Yeah, he's an animal. Literally. I mean, he eats people.
Yeah. That's also a fantastic choice. I would let's see, I would also go with Norman Bates.
Mhm.
Norman Bates, I think, is fantastic, and it's the whole him already fucked up in the head that kind of makes him even more terrifying than before, because it's not really him doing the killing, it's his other personality that's taken over, and that is even scarier because he has no moral compass at that point. Like, it's just someone else doing it for him, and how he can use that motel as a way to do it is a fantastic idea, because of the fact that it's because the highway was built, no one shows up there really anymore, so he doesn't have to expect a shitload of people coming in. He just wait for the stragglers to come in, and then his other personality takes over, and he kills them, and then just puts their cars and shit in the lake. It's just it's smart fucking shit, but also very creepy.
Yeah, I mean, Psycho's one of the best movies ever, and it's like one of the best twists in the movie, that, like, you know, our main character gets killed really early on, and just everything that's going on with Norman. Again, another like very layered character. So I love that choice. Yeah, we all go a little mad sometimes.
Now, let's talk a little bit about like a group of horror villains in a movie, kind of like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre family, where there's multiple of them. Do you have any good choices for those, like a big group of them in a movie that you actually like or prefer?
I didn't really think of groups when I was like thinking about my list, so I don't really. Oh, actually, okay, I have one. We did an episode on Why We Love Horror on it with the Bone Tomahawk.
Yes,
is troglodytes or
something. I think it is.
I'm like, I'm probably messing that up, but those people are terrifying. Like, they're not fucking around.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna slice you up if you cross them. And just, yeah, that movie was great. I only saw it the one time, but I guess thinking of like a group of people, that's just what came to my mind. What about you?
I got two of them. I got the Lost Boys, because
of course.
Yeah, they just are having a fucking blast, because they were turned when they were they're supposed to be late teenagers, but clearly they're all in their fucking 20s, except for maybe Alex Winter. All of them are in their late 20s, but they're supposed to be teenagers when they were bitten, so that's what they still were at this point, even though they are probably 100 years old at this point. They are still teenagers at heart, and they just want to party and have fun, and they don't have any essence of thinking they're going to die at any point. And I think it's just fantastic how they just go around, they have fun, and they party, and then they just go after people that they either get into fights with, like the group at the boardwalk, and they come after them later, or the security guard that gives them shit. And I also like having Kiefer Sutherland be the main guy and be as kind of as charming as he is in that movie. It just makes it even better, because they're able to just lead people in like he does with Michael and his family. He's able to slowly lead them in by fucking with them with the food, and then giving them blood. And the essence of them dying is where I think is interesting, because especially when Kiefer Sutherland dies, you can tell when he gets stabbed by that thing, what kind of animal is that? Is it the horn of the deer? I think it's a deer antler that gets him, that he gets impaled on.
Okay.
And his reaction to it, he just had no even an inkling that would ever happen to him, and he's so freaked out by it. And then he just passes away. It's just fantastic. And then the big family, the Firefly family from Rob Zombie's movies, the most psychotic fucking people on earth, who have no good in them at all, no more. Even though, like, it's funny, because in the House of 1,000 Corpses, there's just pure fucking carnage and evil. Then you get to Devil's Rejects, and Rob Zombie tries to get you to kind of like feel for them. And in certain scenes, you kind of do, because you kind of see that they do care about each other for the most part. They just don't fucking give a shit about anybody else. And he does it in a way to where you're just hanging out with him the entire time. And when fucking Diamond Dallas Page and Danny Trejo show up to just beat the ever-loving shit out of them, you kind of feel bad that they're getting their ass kicked by these two guys. And even though they are fucking evil as shit, you kind of want them to get away from at least them. And the sheriff is a complete psychopath as well, and he has every right to be, because they end up murdering his brother in the House of 1,000 Corpses, and they end up basically fucking with him with that. So he has every right to be as psychotic as he is in that movie, but you kind of want them to kill him as well. But I think they are so what's the word for it? They are so boisterous, and they are so outgoing that they make great fucking villains together. I think if they were to be separated in a movie, I don't think it would work as much. But with all three of them together, all their personalities together, I think it becomes very, very lively and very creepy how they just take anybody. They would take anybody. Doesn't matter who they are. They don't really have a reason for what they're doing. They're just going through. They're trying to escape in the movie, but they take anybody they can to kill, including I'm surprised Sid Haig doesn't kill the mom that he steals the car from with the little kid. Like, he doesn't kill the mom or the kid. He headbutts the shit out of her and knocks her out because she won't give him the car. And then he just scares the living shit out of the child and lets him leave the car.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have too much to say because I've only seen both movies once. I've only seen House of 1,000 Corpses in regards to because it's like a trilogy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only seen that one once a long time ago, and yeah, they're just like the shittiest of people, but terrifying. And then Lost Boys I just saw for the first time, and I loved it. And it's funny because I almost forget that they are villains because like you were saying, very charming and likable in a way. But then it's they are vampires, so
Yeah.
but they seem like a good hang until they want to kill you, I guess.
Now, what do you think makes a fun villain?
Well, a fun villain, I feel like going back to somebody like Freddy Krueger, I kind of like when they have an aspect of them that's a little bit comedic, at least for me. I kind of like that, but then also that they're terrifying. So another example that I'll give is Sam from Trick or Treat.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's so cute, but he's terrifying, and he's kind of funny too. Just some of the things that happen in the movie with the candy and the his little bag of it all. I don't know. It is a little silly, but at the same time, I'm I wouldn't want to be around Sam. I don't
Yeah.
If I were to cross his path, I'd want to go the other way.
Oh yeah, no, that is actually a great choice and a great example. And we got a new customer in here.
Yay!
See who we got today. We got Joseph.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Little tired, but I haven't been on one of these for a while, so I figured I might stop by, see what I can do, talk about, things like that.
I like it. So the question of the night: who's your favorite horror movie villain?
If someone mentioned this already, I wouldn't be surprised, but has anybody mentioned Dr. Hannibal Lecter?
Yes.
We did, but
But
go
go for
ahead and
it.
say why he's your favorite horror movie villain.
Well, I wanted to say that, sorry.
You're good.
If nobody had if nobody had said Dr. Hannibal Lecter, that's okay. But somebody did say Hannibal Lecter, so that's all right. But so I'll try to pick something different. That's okay.
Okay.
One of the villains that really gets me unsettled is, well, actually, it's possible this was already picked as well. Did anybody say the Xenomorph from the Alien films?
No.
No.
Okay,
No.
cool.
There we go.
Alien and Aliens, I'm a huge fan of, but if we're sticking with horror movie villain, it's the Xenomorph from 1979's Alien. When I went into this movie, I had already gone into it knowing about the chestburster scene. I knew about that stuff already, but what I did not know about it was that there are different stages of the alien that specifically attack in different ways people. There's the egg, and it's just so simple. It's a simple egg, and then it opens, and this thing just jumps at your face if you get too close to it, and it's a jump scare at first, but then it stays there and it won't let you go once it gets a hold of you. You can try to cut it off, but then it'll bleed acid, and then it'll try to burn through your spaceship all it can until there's none left of it. The Nostromo crew narrowly avoided getting killed just by the blood of that thing.
Yeah.
And then finally it does let it go. It does let go of you, but then it dies because it planted something inside of you, and then the chestburster happens, and then the initial attack of that face hugger just really makes me uncomfortable, but also really grips me in the story because it shows this thing is super difficult to kill. Even when you try killing it, you risk splurting acid on yourself like they do in Aliens, and the design of the monster is just cool in general, especially when it's reached its full-fledged form at the end of the movie, or when it reaches its adult form in the movies. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a great pick. Yeah. I feel like the practical effects of it all is just really effective, and just that first Alien movie is truly a horror movie. Just the tension that it kind of builds throughout the whole movie. So fantastic choice.
Oh yeah, the same. It's a fantastic choice. Especially the first Alien gets very creepy, especially during the shaft sequence and stuff like that. It has a lot of great horror moments involved, and that's just a great character in general. Great choice, Joseph.
I had to grab my prop.
I cut out a little bit, right?
Oh, you missed it.
Okay. That thing is so.
Well, thank you, Joseph.
Yeah, thank you,
Yes,
Joseph. We'll see you soon. Another fantastic choice, another classic movie monster. And as we're wrapping things up, if anybody would like to jump on, now's the time. Click that link and jump on in. I want to bring up another classic monster that's not really he's a villain in the sense of the town, but he's not really a villain. I'm going to bring up Frankenstein's monster. And he's not he's one of my favorite characters.
Oh, hi, Kelly.
It's Kelly.
It's all right, but it's not the same.
Yeah. Yeah, Frankenstein monster is one of my favorite characters because he has a heart to him, and he's not really a villain. The main thing of what the town's already creeped up, he's a monster, but then he ends up killing the small little girl on accident because he sees her throwing the flower petals in the thing, and he just wants to play with her. And it's just oh no, oh, she's jumping on. Oh,
how exciting!
Yeah, so we're gonna get Kelly. But yeah, Frankenstein. Yeah, the Universal monsters are some of my favorite characters in general because they all have their differences, and some like Dracula are just pure fucking evil, and then you have Frankenstein's monster that's just misunderstood.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Universal monsters?
Yeah, I mean they're all very iconic at this point and great choices. I need to rewatch particularly Frankenstein. That's one I haven't watched in a very long time. But yeah, that's a great choice.
And we got Kelly. It's Kelly.
I couldn't miss the show. It's a Friday night.
An actual Friday night for you.
And it's an actual Friday night. It is dark. I'm exhausted. I just wanted to say thank you so much, guys, for holding down the fort for me. Can't wait to watch it on the replay. I hope I'm not being one of those people that are going to come on and say an answer that someone else has given. Okay. Jurassic Park's a horrible movie, and here's why. No, I'm joking. Has anyone said Ghostface yet?
No.
Fantastic. Ghostface for me. I love this. I'm talking number one. I'm talking Scream. So I'm talking spoilers. I don't give a shit. I'm talking Loomis and I'm talking Matthew Lillard, whatever his fucking name is. Because those guys are just dicks. And so if they can go around just killing people, like that's actually terrifying for me. And the thing is, what makes it more scary is that they're fumbling. You know, there's a lot of this movement happening, you know, and that would scare the shit out of me. And one of my favorite scenes in the whole film, one of my favorite characters is Tatum, when she starts throwing the bottles at him in the thing. It's like, I'm not fucking scared of you, and you think she's gonna get away, and a fucking dog door takes her. I'm sorry, I'm getting heated. And a dog door takes her. But that's what I liked about it, is that, well, I do and I don't at one point. Like it just feels so real. Like these could be people, you know, that you just know from high school, and that's terrifying. And it gives that very Joker-esque, it only takes one bad day or one bad thing to happen to someone to turn them into that. So that's probably, if we're talking traditional non-Disney horror movie villains, I'd give it for Ghostface. And if I considered her a villain, it would be Carrie, but she's not a villain. She's a good for her.
Yes, her mom's more the villain.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great pick.
Yeah, that's a fantastic choice. And yeah, it is a process of it. Could be they could be going after anybody, and it could be anybody under that mask. And that is very scary and very why it's considered one of the best horror movies at this point, is because it could be anybody, and it just is a bad day, or for them, it's the dad of what happened with the dad and why they do what they're doing.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I love a villain that kind of does have some comedic beats to it, but also is terrifying. And I feel like Stu and Billy both kind of have that here, because, I mean, I'm feeling woozy, guys, or whatever. Like, love that so much. It, like, yeah, I mean, there's definitely, like, comedic beats throughout the movie, but, like, yeah, at the end of the day, like, these are just two guys at your high school that are killing people.
They're just a couple of jabronis who just, like, decide to start murdering people. Like, but yeah. Oh, guys, thank you so much for having me on. I'm gonna drop out. Love, kisses to you both. Thank you to everyone who's watching Late Shift. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Kelly.
Was not expecting that.
Yeah, I know. And I think that's actually a good place to end right there. We got to end with Kelly.
Yeah.
Thank you to Bill and Joseph and Kelly, of course, for jumping on. This has been a blast today. We had some fun choices. Had Melissa, thank you so much for jumping on tonight to co-host with me. And we're going to be back in 2 weeks with another horror-related question. So keep a lookout for that. Other than that, do you have anything to plug, Melissa, including your show? Plug away.
Yeah, check out Film Coven. Me and Kelly have our own channel now. So if you haven't moved on over in regards to like subscribing to the show, please check it out, subscribe. Check out our latest episode of House. It was a lot of fun filming. It was a lot of fun to edit. We have another episode coming out next week. So stay tuned. Yes, stay tuned. And, you know, go watch some more movies. Go to a video store if you can find one. Fuck it. Do whatever you gotta do. Bye, everybody. Bye.
And we're clear.